Welcome to our presentation on the fiscal year 2024 SAFER grant program. The SAFER, or Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response grant program, is a crucial initiative funded by FEMA. The program was created to provide funding directly to fire departments and volunteer firefighter interest organizations to help them increase or maintain the number of trained frontline firefighters available in their communities. This grant plays a vital role in ensuring that fire departments have the resources they need to effectively respond to emergencies and protect their communities. This presentation will cover the key components of the program, including eligibility requirements, application processes, and funding objectives, with a specific emphasis on the recruitment and retention of volunteer firefighters activity, otherwise referred to as the R&R activity. As we discuss the SAFER grant program, it's important to highlight the timelines and funding available for the fiscal year 2024 program. Depending on when you're viewing this presentation, the application period may be open or will be opening soon. Specifically, the application window for the fiscal year 2024 SAFER grant will commence at 9 a.m. on the first day and conclude at 5 p.m. on the final day, all in Eastern Time. This year, a total of $324 million has been appropriated for the SAFER grant program. Of this total funding, 10%, which amounts to $32.4 million, is set aside for the recruitment and retention of volunteer firefighters, which leaves $291,600,000 for the hiring activity. Of the total $324 million appropriation, another 10%, or $32.4 million, is set aside for grants awarded to all volunteer or majority volunteer departments for hiring of firefighters. The SAFER program anticipates issuing approximately 300 awards this funding cycle. Importantly, all awards will be finalized and announced by September 30th, 2025, giving departments a clear timeline for planning their applications and funding needs. As a potential SAFER award recipient, it is crucial to understand that compliance with the requirements and regulations outlined in the Notice of Funding Opportunity, or NOFO, is mandatory. The NOFO serves as a comprehensive guide for applicants, providing essential information that will shape your application process and funding journey. It is imperative to read the entire FY 2024 SAFER program NOFO carefully. Inside, you will find detailed insights into several key areas, including the program's objectives and priorities, which will help you align your application with the goals of the SAFER initiative. Additionally, the NOFO outlines the eligibility criteria, ensuring that you understand all necessary qualifications you must meet before submitting your application. Key dates are also included, allowing you to plan your submissions accordingly and avoid any last-minute surprises. Finally, the NOFO provides a clear review process and evaluation criteria. Understanding these factors will help you craft a competitive application that stands out during the review process. It's important to note that the NOFO is not just an informational document. It is incorporated into the terms of the award. This means that adherence to the guidelines provided is not optional, but a requirement for receiving funding. Take the time to familiarize yourself with the NOFO. It will be your roadmap to successfully navigating the SAFER grant application process. You can find the entire document at www.fema.gov/firegrants. The SAFER program plays a vital role in supporting local fire departments across the nation. Its primary objective is to enhance the staffing and deployment capabilities of these departments, enabling them to respond more effectively to emergencies and ensuring that communities receive the necessary protection from fire and fire-related hazards. Local fire departments achieve this goal by improving their staffing levels and deployment strategies. When fire departments are adequately staffed, they can mobilize more personnel to the scene of an incident, enhancing their ability to tackle emergencies efficiently and safely. With increased staffing levels, not only can fire departments expect a reduction in response times, but they will also benefit from having a greater number of trained personnel on site when emergencies occur. This is crucial because in high-pressure situations, the presence of well-trained responders can significantly impact the outcome of an incident. Let's discuss compliance with the National Fire Protection Association standards, as outlined in Appendix B of the FY 2024 SAFER Program NOFO. This appendix provides crucial programmatic information, priorities, and key definitions that are essential for applicants. While it's important to note that applicants do not necessarily need to achieve 100% compliance with the applicable NFPA standards, the SAFER grant is designed to help departments move closer to compliance in the most cost-effective manner possible. FEMA places a significant priority on utilizing grant funds to assist fire departments in reaching compliance with either the NFPA 1710 or NFPA 1720 standards. The specific standards outline critical assembly and staffing requirements for effective emergency response. For instance, NFPA 1710 focuses on initial full alarm assignment capability for single-family dwellings, as detailed in Section 5.2.4.1. Meanwhile, NFPA 1720 emphasizes staffing and deployment strategies. It's worth noting that applications demonstrating the largest percentage increases in compliance with these NFPA standards will receive higher consideration during the review process. Therefore, if your department is aiming to enhance operational capabilities, focusing on how the SAFER grant can bridge the compliance gap is a strategic approach. For more detailed information, please refer to the FY 2024 SAFER Program NOFO, where you can find comprehensive guidance on these standards and how they relate to your application. Here we will explore the two primary activities supported by the SAFER grant, the hiring activity and the recruitment and retention, or R&R activity. First, let's discuss the hiring activity. This component of the SAFER grant offers crucial funding to support applications aimed at hiring new, additional firefighters. This means that if your department is looking to expand its workforce to enhance response capabilities, the hiring activity can provide the financial assistance you need. In addition, this activity allows fire departments to change the status of part-time or paid-on-call firefighters to full-time positions. This transition not only improves the overall staffing of your department, but also ensures that these firefighters are fully engaged and available during emergencies. Moreover, the hiring activity also includes provisions for rehiring firefighters who have been laid off, as well as retaining those who may be facing potential layoffs. This is essential in maintaining operational readiness and ensuring that your community continues to receive necessary fire and emergency response services. Now let's shift our focus to the recruitment and retention activity. This part of the SAFER program assists fire departments specifically with the recruitment and retention of volunteer firefighters. These volunteers are vital as they are often involved in the operational aspects of firefighting and emergency response. By focusing on recruitment, departments can build a robust pool of volunteers who are trained and ready to respond in times of need. The retention aspect ensures that these volunteers remain committed and engaged, which is crucial for maintaining a reliable and effective emergency response team. Please note, applicants who wish to submit applications for both the hiring and R&R activities must submit two separate applications. Understanding who is eligible to apply for these grants is crucial for ensuring your organization can secure a SAFER grant. The hiring of firefighters activity is designed for fire departments. This includes career, combination, and volunteer fire departments. A fire department is an agency or organization having a formally recognized arrangement with a state, local, tribal, or territorial authority. This includes cities, counties, parishes, fire districts, townships, towns, or other governing bodies, in which they provide fire suppression to a population within a geographically fixed primary, first due response area. National, regional, state, local, tribal, nation, and nonprofit interest organizations representing the interests of volunteer firefighters are not eligible to apply for a hiring activity grant. The recruitment and retention activity is available to volunteer and combination fire departments. Career fire departments are not eligible in the R&R activity. Unlike the hiring activity, national, regional, state, local, tribal, and nonprofit interest organizations representing the interests of volunteer firefighters are eligible in the R&R activity. By carefully reviewing these eligibility criteria, you can ensure that your application aligns with the requirements set forth by the SAFER program. Make sure to consult the most recent NOFO for the most comprehensive and up-to-date information regarding eligibility. The purpose of SAFER R&R grants is to support national, state, local, and federally recognized tribal organizations in recruiting and retaining volunteer firefighters who are involved in firefighting operations and emergency response. These grants aim to boost the total number of trained, certified, and competent firefighters who can safely respond to emergencies on behalf of their fire departments. Applicants who propose projects that are comprehensive, grounded in a clear needs assessment, and include a well thought out implementation and evaluation plan will receive higher consideration. Additionally, projects that establish or strengthen partnerships within the fire service will also be prioritized. Under the R&R activity for fiscal year 2024, there are several new eligible costs, which include new member costs. Eligible physical exam costs for new members include initial medical exams, annual physicals, job-related immunizations, behavioral health visits, and cancer screening programs to meet NFPA 1580. Wellness and fitness for existing members, physical exams. Employee Assistance Program, or EAP, are now an eligible cost, which are designed to provide behavioral health training for coping with fire service duties. There are some additional considerations which are continuing from the fiscal year 2024 SAFER program that we would like to highlight. First, let's discuss the Authorized Organization Representative, or AOR. The AOR role is a user role within the FEMA Go system. An organization can have multiple members assigned with the AOR role, but the assignment of the AOR role allows that individual to administer your organization's user accounts and officially sign grant applications. It's crucial that you understand the role and responsibilities of the AOR in the FEMA Go system. Any individual assigned the AOR role should be an official representative of your organization and not a consultant or contractor. The AOR is the individual authorized by the organization to act on its behalf. Only the AOR can sign and submit a grant application. Next, we'll turn to the narrative evaluation criteria. The narrative statement submitted as part of an application must provide specific details about the activity for which an applicant seeks funding, including budget details. The SAFER NOFO contains helpful information on the evaluation criteria and how your application will be assessed. Understanding these NOFO criteria can help you craft a compelling narrative that highlights your department's needs and capabilities. As part of the review of narrative submissions, FEMA will undertake comparison checks across all narrative submissions to ensure a submission is unique. Ensure that your narrative submissions clearly address each element specific to your organization. Don't overlook the programmatic performance reporting requirements. The submission of semi-annual progress reports will be a condition of any award. Compliance with these requirements is essential for ensuring continued funding and support. Lastly, for applicant review information, FEMA will only review those SAFER applications that fall within the competitive range, instead of reviewing every application. Therefore, not every SAFER application will advance to the peer review evaluation stage. We will cover the evaluation stages a little later in this presentation. Also continuing for the FY 2024 cycle are the following. State and national organizations must clearly state the purpose of their personnel expenditures in their narrative sections. Local departments and small projects must also define all requested positions thoroughly in their narratives. For grant writer fees, applicants can include preparation fees as eligible expenses if these fees were incurred within 90 days before the notice of funding opportunity was published and up to 30 days after the application period closes. The final key aspect to cover is the minimum budget requirement. For previous grant cycles, applicants were required to certify that their annual budgets for fire-related programs and emergency response had not been reduced below 80% of their average funding levels over the 3 years leading up to their application. However, for the FY 2023 and FY 2024, applicants in the recruitment and retention activity, this budget requirement is waived. Let's review the timeline for the 90-day recruitment period for SAFER R&R grant recipients. Once an application is approved for award, the 90-day recruitment period begins immediately, even before the applicant receives the official award notification. This means that by the time an applicant is notified, the recruitment period is already underway. The award package itself will contain the start date for the grant's period of performance, or POP. The 90-day recruitment period is designed to give recipients enough time to prepare, whether by gathering resources, initiating essential processes, or finalizing contracts, so they're ready to begin SAFER grant activities promptly at the start of the POP. maximizing the funding's potential impact. If a grant recipient is fully prepared and would like to begin their period of performance before the 90-day period is up, they can submit an amendment in the system to request an early start. Please note that the cost for grant-related activities can only be incurred during the official period of performance. Additional details on this requirement are provided on the next slide. The Safer Recruitment and Retention R&R activity is designed to support fire departments with the recruitment and retention of volunteer firefighters who are actively trained in firefighting or emergency response. Activities and associated costs must align directly with the recruitment and retention needs outlined in the application. It's important for departments to consult their authority having jurisdiction or legal counsel to fully understand the legal and financial impacts of offering benefits or financial awards to firefighters under these programs. All grant-related purchases and activities must be completed within the grant's official period of performance. Similarly, the coverage period for contracts and service agreements must start and end within this timeframe. To assist with planning, the SAFER program's programmatic priorities for R&R activity are outlined in the NOFO. The Program Office emphasizes that any budget line item must be clearly justified in the application, showing how it will contribute to recruitment or retention. Without sufficient explanation, that line item will not be funded. Additionally, applicants are required to maintain standard operating procedures, or SOPs. These should detail eligibility requirements for each incentive, outline specific requirements for earning incentives, and clarify what happens to awarded incentives if an individual does not meet their obligations. Finally, please note that we recommend delaying any contract commitments until after the period of performance has officially begun. This slide provides a list of some ineligible costs under the SAFER program's R&R activity. Please note that this is not a complete list, and for full details on eligible and ineligible costs, refer to the NOFO. Examples of ineligible costs include salary and benefits for firefighters, retroactive payments or recognitions for operational activities or services, such as training or incident response, that was completed before the grant was awarded. Any costs incurred outside of the period of performance, with the exception of grant writer fees. Fire suppression equipment and vehicles. Fire simulators, fire evolution setups, or fire training props. Gym memberships. Communication equipment, including cell phones, pagers, and portable radios, as well as any associated monthly expenses, like those for computer-aided dispatch systems. Please ensure that all planned expenses align with the program's guidelines to avoid any funding issues. In the R&R activity, applicants may apply for a regional grant if the proposed activities will bring a direct benefit to a broader area beyond the applicant's immediate first due response area. This type of regional request allows an eligible R&R activity organization to serve as a host, applying for funding on behalf of itself, as well as other eligible organizations. For regional requests, applicants should enter community identification characteristics, organizational status, and the permanent resident population for the host entity, even if there are multiple participating partners. It's also important to note that both the regional host and any participating partners may apply for other SAFER program activities on their own, but not for the same items included in the regional request. In this context, a quote, direct benefit means that other fire departments will receive either a portion of the grant funds or they will receive items purchased with those funds. For regional host applicants and partner agencies, an executed Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, is required. This document must be signed by the host and all participating organizations involved in the award. It should outline each organization's individual and shared responsibilities, the level of involvement of each partner, the employer identification numbers for participating agencies, and how grant-funded assets or services will be distributed. Each entity listed as a beneficiary in the application must be eligible under the SAFER program and must be included in the MOU or an equivalent document. Make sure to attach copies of the MOU as part of the application submission. Please note that any fire department participating in a regional application cannot already have a SAFER grant funding the same activities as those requested in the regional application. Over the next few slides, we will discuss the SAFER program application review process, which consists of 3 distinct phases to ensure a thorough and fair evaluation of all applications. Phase 1 is the electronic pre-scoring phase. During this phase, applications are initially screened using automated scoring criteria based on the information provided in the application. This preliminary assessment helps identify submissions that meet a competitive range. FEMA will only review those safer applications that fall within the competitive range instead of reviewing every application. Moving on to phase 2, we now enter the peer review process. In this phase, qualified reviewers, who are typically subject matter experts in the fire service and emergency response, carefully assess those applications that fell in the competitive range. They evaluate various components such as clarity of objectives, alignment with safer program goals, and overall programmatic priorities. This peer review is critical as it provides valuable insights and recommendations based on professional expertise, ensuring that each application receives a comprehensive assessment. Finally, we arrive at phase 3, the technical review. This phase involves a detailed examination of the application by FEMA personnel. The technical review focuses on the feasibility and effectiveness of the proposed plans, the appropriateness of the budget, and the applicant's capacities to successfully implement the project. It serves as a final check to ensure that all submissions align with the program's intent and regulatory requirements. The Safer Program application review process is designed to be systematic and rigorous. By employing electronic pre-scoring, peer reviews, and technical evaluations, the evaluation process identifies the highest scoring projects that will enhance the firefighting and emergency response capabilities of local departments. The electronic pre-score process is conducted for all complete and eligible applications. This initial phase focuses on assessing the information submitted to identify how well each application aligns with the Safer Program's stated priorities. Central to this process are the activity-specific questions and the information provided in the department characteristics section of the application. These elements are critical in determining an application's standing relative to the program's priorities. Each response is analyzed to establish how well it meets the program's objectives, which could include factors such as staffing levels, community needs, and operational readiness. Once this standing is established, each application receives a computer-generated score known as the pre-score. The pre-score reflects how the application ranks in relation to the Safer Program priorities based on the provided information. It's important to note that the pre-score constitutes 30% of the total score for recruitment and retention activity applications. This means that achieving a favorable pre-score is vital for applicants, as it significantly influences the overall assessment of their proposal. Once the electronic pre-score is complete, the applications with the highest rankings advance to the peer review panel process. This critical step ensures that the evaluation of applications is thorough and based on expert input. In this phase, a panel of 3 peer reviewers is assembled. These reviewers are experienced professionals within the firefighting community who have a deep understanding of the challenges and requirements faced by fire departments. Their role is to score the narrative statement provided in each application and make informed funding recommendations. The scoring from the peer review is essential. It constitutes 70% of the total score for R&R activity applications. This means that the insights and evaluations provided by peer reviewers can significantly impact an application's overall standing. The narrative statement is a crucial part of your application as it allows you to articulate your department's needs, objectives, and impact that safer funding could have on your community's emergency response capabilities. A compelling narrative that clearly conveys these elements can enhance your chances of receiving favorable scores from the panel. After the peer review scores are finalized, applications are rank ordered, starting with the highest scoring application. This ranking is crucial because it directly influences the allocation of available funding. Each application is assessed not only on its score, but also in conjunction with the statutory allocation requirements, ensuring that all funding guidelines are met. Following this rank ordering, FEMA conducts technical reviews of the highest scoring applications. This comprehensive assessment is essential for ensuring that the funding requests are appropriate and viable. During this phase, FEMA reviews each application with respect to several critical factors. Costs. Are the requested amounts reasonable and justified? Quantities. Are the quantities of requested positions appropriate? Feasibility. Can the proposed plan be realistically implemented? Eligibility. Does the application meet all the necessary eligibility requirements? Recipient responsibility. Is the applicant capable of managing the grant effectively? Once these technical reviews are completed, applications are forwarded to FEMA's Award Administration Division. Here they undergo an additional financial integrity review. This step is vital for ensuring that the proposed financial management aligns with federal regulations and safeguards against misuse of funds. Understanding this process helps you appreciate the importance of crafting a strong, detailed application that addresses these elements. The more transparent and well-supported your application is, the better your chances of moving forward in the review process. The following slides detail the tools and resources available to grant applicants. First, we will cover the technical assistance tools available to support your application for the FY 2024 SAFER program. You can find these resources on the FEMA website at www.fema.gov/firegrants. First and foremost, familiarize yourself with the fiscal year 2024 SAFER Notice of Funding Opportunity. This critical document outlines the program's objectives, eligibility criteria, and application requirements. Understanding the NOFO thoroughly is essential for crafting a competitive application. Next, check out the Frequently Asked Questions section. This resource addresses common concerns and queries applicants may have, offering valuable insights into the application process and eligibility requirements. Additionally, the application checklist is an indispensable tool. It provides a detailed outline of all necessary components and steps needed to complete your application successfully. Following this checklist ensures that you don't miss any critical elements. One of the most beneficial resources is the self-evaluation sheets. These sheets are designed to help applicants grasp the criteria that must be addressed in the narrative statements. By using a self-evaluation sheet, you can rate your own application, which not only helps in understanding your strengths and weaknesses, but also provides an indication of how your application might be perceived by the peer reviewers. The narrative evaluation criteria document are essential for scoring and are outlined in the FY 2024 SAFER program NOFO. Familiarizing yourself with these criteria will enhance your application, making it more likely to meet the expectations of the reviewers. Utilizing these technical assistance tools can significantly improve your chances of success in securing funding through the SAFER program. It is critical to understand that applicants will not be awarded grants without an active SAM.gov registration. This is a vital step in the application process, so make sure you prioritize it. For those who already have a SAM.gov account, please take a moment to check your registration status to ensure that it is active. Keep in mind that a SAM registration must be renewed annually. Failing to renew a SAM registration can result in your record becoming inactive, which could jeopardize your chances of receiving funding. Effective April 4th, 2022, the federal government transitioned from using the Data Universal Numbering System, or DUNS, to a new identifier known as the Unique Entity Identifier, UEI. If your organization had an active registration in SAM prior to this date, the UEI has already been assigned to you automatically. No action is required on your part. However, if you are registering a new entity in SAM.gov after this date, the UEI will be assigned during the registration process. For organizations that are currently registered in SAM.gov, you will find your UEI listed in your entity registration record. It's worth noting that FEMA Go has been updated to use the UEI as the primary entity identifier for registered organizations. As you move forward, keep in mind that new registrations in both SAM and FEMA Go will require the use of the UEI. It's essential to have a current and active SAM registration to be eligible for funding. Each applicant must possess its own unique UEI and SAM registration, as sharing UEI numbers is not permitted within the FEMA Grants Outcomes system, FEMA Go. The good news is that registering in the SAM.gov system is free. However, if you are a new entity, be aware that registration process can take weeks to complete. It's advisable to start this process as soon as possible to avoid any delays in your grant application. The SAFER online application is available through the FEMA Grants Outcomes system, better known as FEMA Go. You can access FEMA Go at go.fema.gov. This platform allows you to submit your application and track its status. For additional application information and resources, you can visit the following websites. The SAFER program website can be found at fema.gov/firegrants. Here you'll find program details, eligibility criteria, and other vital information. Grants.gov, located at www.grants.gov, is a comprehensive source for federal grant opportunities, where you can also find information specific to the SAFER program application process. The U.S. Fire Administration website is available at usfa.fema.gov, and it provides resources and tools related to fire safety and emergency response. These resources will assist you in navigating the application process and ensuring that you have all the necessary information for a successful submission. FEMA Go supports only the most recent major releases of the following web browsers: Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Apple's Safari, and Microsoft Edge. Please note that users accessing FEMA Go through a tablet device or other unsupported browsers may encounter issues, so it's recommended to use one of the supported browsers for the best experience. An important feature of the FEMA Go system is that there are no save buttons. The system automatically saves your information as you navigate through the application. This means that you won't lose any data if you are forced to exit an application and return at a later time to complete it. If you forget to complete a question, or if you input an invalid response, you will see a red error message on the page, and it will guide you in correcting that error. Additionally, more than one individual can work on an application simultaneously. If someone else is editing the application at the same time as you will see a message indicating their activity. The following are some additional tips for using the FEMA Go system. First, do not type using only capital letters. This helps maintain readability and professionalism in your application. Next, be aware that text boxes are limited to plain text. They do not allow for formatting, and many text boxes have character limits. Therefore, keep your entries concise and focused. We recommend that you avoid including any tables, special characters, or fonts. This includes quotation marks, bullets, and any graphs. Additionally, you cannot add photos, charts, graphs, or other graphic files such as .jpeg or .gif formats to the text boxes. Before submitting your application, it's crucial to double and triple check the information. Ensure that all facts and statements are accurate and consistent throughout the entire application. Collaborate with finance or other relevant departments to verify that the information you provide is correct. Lastly, if you include any, quote, filler or placeholder text when completing the application, please make sure to update those fields with your final and complete answers before submission. Following these guidelines will help ensure a smooth application process, and they will increase the likelihood of your application being well received. If a grant writer prepares your application, it's also necessary that an authorized organization representative, or an AOR, reads through the application before it is submitted. This final review helps ensure that the application is accurate and complete. By submitting an application, you are certifying that all information contained in the application is true and accurately reflects your organization. And it's important to note that any submission of information that is false or misleading, regardless of intent, may result in actions taken by FEMA. Once the AOR submits the application, it cannot be changed. However, you do have the option to withdraw and reopen a submitted application, but this can only be done while the application period is still open. Be sure to resubmit the application before the end of the application period to be considered for funding. Upon submission, the AOR will receive an email confirmation from the FEMA Go system. This confirmation serves as proof of timely submission, which you may keep for your records. Taking these steps will help you navigate the application process more effectively and ensure that your submission is properly documented. Finally, we will outline the support resources available to you during the SAFER program application process. If you have any questions regarding the program, the application, or if you have a general inquiry, you can reach out to the Fire Grants Help Desk. This help desk is staffed by professionals who are equipped to assist you. You can contact the Fire Grants Help Desk by phone at 1-866-274-0960, or you may email them at firegrants@fema.dhs.gov. The help desk hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Additionally, the FEMA website offers helpful information and guides designed to assist you in developing your application. For technical support with the FEMA Go system, you can reach the FEMA Go Help Desk. This help desk addresses any technical issues you may encounter while using the FEMA Go system. You can contact the FEMA Go Help Desk by phone at 1-877-585-3242 or email at femago@fema.dhs.gov. FEMA Go help desk hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Utilizing these resources can enhance your application experience and ensure that you have the support you need to navigate the process successfully. This concludes the fiscal year 2024 SAFER Program Recruitment and Retention of Volunteer Firefighters Activity Overview. All of the materials referenced in this presentation are available at www.fema.gov/firegrants.